Welcome to the HohO Show, rated the #1 most listened to podcast on Pluto. So join us now as we discuss news, politics, current events, and so much more. So clear the airways and strap in as we defend the Constitution. Because freedom matters.
We are broadcasting live from the Cottage Studio, so welcome to the HohO Show, and as always, I am your host, HoHo. So welcome everybody, welcome Spreaker, welcome Twitch, YouTube, Periscope, and Facebook. How y'all doing? I hope you guys are doing good. So I am joined in studio by none other than Mr. Ray.
Hello.
How you doing today, sir?
Good, how are you?
I am doing well. Can't complain whatsoever.
Nobody'd listen if you did.
I know, they ignore me. It's horrible. So guys, I know, right? See, that's how that works. So guys, we got a little bit of a different type of a show planned for today. This show has been the least amount of articles that I've had in my Flipboard magazine since I've started using the Flipboard magazine.
You know what that means then? 5-hour show.
No, yeah. I am not doing a 5-hour show.
You could.
I could not. So, but we got some things to talk about though. We're going to take a short little civics class today. We're just going to have some fun. It's going to be a good time. But first, I got something else I want to talk about. You see, every year, well, this would actually be year number 3, but I am a fan of Mr. Alex Exum of the Exum Experience and Live Talk. And hello, Matt, over there in Facebook land. How you doing today, sir? Good to see you. So he does a Halloween special every year.
Well,
and
Halloween is special.
It is.
It's my birthday.
Right? And last year, his show was absolutely amazing. And hello, Brandon, over there in Facebook land. He says, woof, you both are ugly. I know, right? Exum of the Exum Experience and Live Talking. Hello, Matt. Really, dude?
Little feedback there.
Right? Yeah, little jackhole over there listening. Anyway, so last year he did an awesome show. It was entitled Scary Mary. And he said that he's going to replay this for this year, but this year he's even got a better show planned. It's going to be good. And as soon as he gets the promo to me, I'll be playing that on the show. I actually haven't asked him yet, but I mean, he sent me last year's, and here's what last year sounded like.
In the year 2018, this station produced one of the most terrifying tales ever broadcast on radio. Bigfoot Speaks, Interview with the Sasquatch. This year, we bring you an even more terrifying tale to send chills down your spine. Scary Mary. One night only, October the 31st. Be there if you dare.
Sounds like my ex-girlfriend.
Right? It's a good time, though, guys. It really is. And I definitely recommend it. It's a Saturday this year. Lands on the same day that, Friday the 13th does in November. Anyway, it'll be a good time. Y'all should definitely stop on over. AlexExum.com, livetalk.live, and of course, those will be available on Spreaker, Spreaker.com/shows/Live Talk, I think. I don't know. Just check out, just Spreaker and search for Live Talk, and you'll see the thing, and it'll be amazing. Anyway, so like I said, we got some things to talk about, guys. And first of all, let's see, what's the title on this one? Like, what?
I don't know.
What did I do the title as? There it is, a film, a delegate, and a president. So first we're going to start talking about the film aspect of it. Okay, so I'm one of them type of people, guys, that I absolutely despise it whenever people tell me to, watch this through the lens of that. Watch this movie through a political lens. Watch this movie through a LGBTQ lens. Watch this movie through this type of a lens.
Right.
I despise that type of a thing. I mean, I really do. I hate it. Unless you're watching a movie that is meant to be viewed in that type of a lens, it's annoying. Even the movie Noah. Yeah, Noah. I didn't even watch that movie through a Christian lens because it was done by Hollywood.
Right.
I didn't do that. So I don't do that. I'm one of those that I despise that. I don't do it. I mean, are you kind of the same way on that, or?
Yeah.
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 I don't do it. I watch movies through the lens of entertainment. That's how I do it. That's how I think about a movie, But especially now, you hear people talk about, the taking the pill, taking the blue pill, taking the red pill, taking this, that, and the other, going down the rabbit hole, all that other kind of good stuff, all right? And that makes me think about the movie Matrix. I don't know about you, but that makes me think about the movie The Matrix.
Me too.
Right? Follow the rabbit hole. I gotta get my. Wait, hold on. Do it. Ouch. Anyway, we're a bunch of goobers. We are. Anyway, it made me think about the movie The Matrix. Okay, because the deeper, the more you let yourself go down the rabbit hole about correlating The Matrix with a political lens, there's a lot of things that kind of come together and make sense. You take the blue pill and you believe, you wake up and you believe whatever it is you want to believe. And hello, Zach over there, and you're talking to me. What's up, Zach? He's down there on the floor. He is. So, how you doing? Anyway, you take the blue pill and you go down, you take the blue pill and you wake up believing whatever it is you want to believe, Or, who was the guy that, was sitting there and talking with Agent Smith, and he was like, he knows that this isn't real, but ignorance is bliss. And you have people that are so caught up and wrapped up into the political aspect of believing what the Democrats say that they will fight to protect it regardless of knowing that it's a lie. They don't care.
Right.
They're so wrapped up in it and so dedicated to it and so, just buried into the propaganda and everything else that they can't pull out of it, And then you have taking the red pill and find out just how deep the rabbit hole goes. And you come to find out that in the Matrix, the world that has been built around you is fake, and that you are nothing more than being used as a
battery.
And of course, I don't have one.
Imagine a battery.
Yeah, imagine a battery. That is you, a battery. And you think about it. How does the Democrats view minorities? How do the Democrats view black people, Asians, Mexicans? They're like, you will vote for us. If you don't vote for me, you ain't black. Biden said it himself. That's how they think of you. You are nothing more than a vote to them. You don't matter, according to them. They don't care about you. The farther down the rabbit hole you go, the more it's kind of like, wow, there's a lot of correlation in here that's like, Anyway, nobody's seen that, right? You didn't see that? Okay, we're good. So, I'm weird, guys. I'm strange. So, yeah, rabbit hole. Again, I'm not one of them people. I don't like watching things through those specific lenses. But when you actually think about it, in the political scope, holy crap, it makes a lot of sense.
Right.
Brandon puts in here, he goes, yet people cannot seem to catch on. You're right, they don't. They're so engaged, they're so dedicated, they've been in it for so long. And I mean, in an aspect, I understand why. When you've been lied to for so much, when you've carried on a lie for so long, you get to a point to where, one, you start believing it, and two, you really can't turn back from it. You're so deep into it. You're so far down in the abyss, there's no coming back from it. And I kind of get it. When you're that caught up in the lie, it's really hard to turn around and acknowledge truth. Don't the left seem to have a hard time doing that, acknowledging truth? Sorry, Vector kicking stuff off of my desk over here. He's a cat, man. He likes knocking things off. He's just a You know, he does that all the time. But anyway,
So is Hillary. Oh.
No, that's
never mind.
different. That's different. You know,
Never mind.
yeah. That cat hung himself. I'm just saying. Anyway, so you got anything on that you'd like to add, Ray?
No,
Anything at
it
all?
makes sense, and I think we talked about this a long time ago too. Is you talk about the Matrix and how it plays into political systems and stuff like that. You talk about when they did the history of Star Wars on the History Channel with Newt Gingrich and all that stuff, and how they broke it down and how that fit into real life as well, as far as the political system and things going on in real life. It's very interesting how some of these movies correlate with real political type genres, I guess you'd say, and how things really pan out in real life.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So, guys, I know we're only 11 minutes into this, but we are going to go ahead and take a quick break. I'm kind of burning up in here. I didn't turn, the ceiling rotary device. I didn't turn that on before we started, so I'm kind of burning up. And then whenever we get back, we are going to step into the next conversation where we are going to be talking about a delegate. And then I'll kind of explain where this segment even came from, because there's a reason I'm going here on this segment. And we got to talk about this, because we don't get talked. We don't get told and taught this in school. So we're going to do that. So we're going to take a quick break, and when I return after I find a song, there we go. Just a couple minutes, guys. We'll be right back. Have you ever had an ailment that a normal over-the-counter remedy just couldn't fight? If this is the case, then boy, have I got the solution for you. Tussin. That's right, Tussin. Cough? Tussin. Cold? Tussin. Runny nose? Tussin. Itchy watery eyes? Tussin. Broken leg? Tussin. Tussin is the ultimate cure-all, guaranteed to stop anything that ails you. Tussin. Available wherever OTCs are sold. And we're back. All right, guys. So we're talking about a delegate. Okay. Now, this spawned from a conversation that I had with a coworker and one of his friends. And he asked me the question of, why do we have the Electoral College? Why is it that the President of the United States is not elected just via the popular vote? Now, the short answer is simple. The short answer is, we're not a democracy. That's the short answer. We are a constitutional republic.
Right.
To make it a little bit more complicated and a little bit harder to understand, and this is one of the reasons why I blame the education system, because we're not really taught this in school. It may be mentioned, it may be blown right past, but it's not talked about. It's not discussed, and it's not really taught what the United States of America is. You see, the US of A is less like Canada and more like Star Trek, the Federation of Planets. See, the US of A isn't a country of people. The US of A is a country of countries. And technically speaking, it's not the people who elect the president, but it's the people who tell the representatives of their countries who they want to vote for, and it's the countries who vote for the president. It's the country of California that votes for the president. It's the country of Illinois that votes for the president. And trust me, guys, you don't want it any other way. Because, well, let's just put it this way. Democracy is bad. Democracy is mob rule. Democracy is two wolves and a sheep talking about what's for dinner. Democracy is two pedophiles and a parent talking about age of consent. You don't want this. Just because the majority wants it doesn't mean that the majority is right.
Right.
And hello, machine over there in YouTube land, you switched on me. Had to switch to YouTube every time someone messages me, it shut off. I hate it whenever it does that. It's just why I hate it whenever it does that. But that's what the US of A is. We are a country of countries. We're not an individual countries, okay? So the delegates that each person is assigned is a lot like the House of Representatives. You know, it is so many representatives or one representative per so many people in the population, and that's how they get how many electoral votes that they get assigned to them, okay? That's how that works. We're not a country of people, as in the US of A. We're a country of countries. California is a country of people. They elect using the democratic process. Those people are elected through the democratic process. But the US of A, we're not a country of people. We're a country of countries. You got anything else to add on that?
No, that was perfect.
Thank you.
Didn't even stumble. You just did it.
I know.
Awesome.
I didn't have very many
me.
tongue ties or twisters or
Yeah.
things like that. It was amazing. So yeah, you know, that's, sorry, go ahead.
No, it's kind of scary that you just, no hiccups at all.
Right? Yeah. So that's what it amounts to, you know, and I hope you guys can understand that because, you know, like I said, that's something that a lot of people don't really understand. They don't get that. You know, they think that we're a country of states, kind of like, you know, they equate, you know, like Ontario up in Canada with, well, Ontario is like our Illinois. No. Ontario is like our Christian county.
Right.
That's just kind of the reality of it. All right. And it was also done for this reason too, because Brandon put in there, he goes, his head is already big enough, Ray. Tell me I did a good job without, you know, stumbling too bad. Yeah.
The night's not over yet.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I got all kinds of mistakes coming, guys. Don't even worry about that.
Wait till he says I pushed the wrong button.
Right. I mean, I know that's going to happen at least once. So Matt put in here something. Politicians enter into the school system. No, I'm sorry. Politics enter. See, I can't read. See how that works? See, politics enter into the school system where less and less is taught. This dumbs down a generation until they don't know what's their rights, what their rights are, and how government works. Makes it easy to strip rights away. And you know what, Matt? You are absolutely right. I did a horrible job reading that, just so you guys know. I did bad. That was horrible. But anyway, he's absolutely right. They teach you less and less about how much power you actually have in government. See, that's the thing. The US of A is unique, guys, because we are not a top-down government. We are a bottoms-up. The president of the United States of America is not our leader. He is our servant. Have you guys ever watched The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air? Jeffrey, the servant, that's Trump. That's the president. That's what he is. He doesn't tell us what we're supposed to do. We tell him what he's going to do because we are a bottoms up. A bottoms up? I think there's a song in there somewhere. Anyway, that's what we are. We are a unique country in that manner, you know. And they also did the Electoral College for this reason as well, okay? Because when they talked to Rhode Island, it was like, hey, do you guys want to join this experiment that we have? They were like, well, maybe, but I mean, we're a small country. Why the heck would we want to join you whenever you have other countries, you know, like California, which wasn't around at the time, but you guys understand my point, right, that are so much bigger than we are? How are we supposed to have a say in anything of what happens? And they were like, well, I'm glad you asked. You see, we have this thing called the Electoral College. It's not the people that vote, it's the countries that vote. It's there to level the playing field a little bit so that this way you'll have a voice too. And also for the same reason how whenever the Senate was originally set up, you see, the Senate, when we first made this thing, the Senate wasn't elected by popular vote. It wasn't up to the people on who they were going to have the senators. It was up to the states.
Right.
Which is the way it should have been, because the senators are the state's voice in Washington. That's why it's 2 per every state, to give each and every state the same power, the same amount of power.
Right.
It wasn't based off of population. It was based off of them being a state. It was to level the playing field and give every single state, every single member in this federation, an equal voice in Washington. That was the point. Okay? Another thing that people like to get lied to or lie to other people about, or a lie that people just like to believe, is that we are, okay, I'm a fat kid, just laying that out there. I might not always eat like one, but I do think like one, okay? The United States of America is not, nor was it ever meant to be, a melting pot, okay? Like a futon, not the thing, like a fondue bowl, you know, mixing several different types of chocolate, and then you taste it and you really can't recognize one type of chocolate from another because it's all blended together and nothing is unique anymore.
Right.
You know, like mixing 20 different kinds of cheeses to make an all new cheese. We were never meant to be that. We were never meant to be like that at all. We were meant to be a salad bowl. See the food references on this? You like this?
Yeah.
We were meant to be a salad bowl. We were meant to be the onions, the little bitty tomatoes, the cherry tomatoes that squirt when you bite into them. We were meant to be the lettuce and the spinach and the eggs. I love eggs, and the cheese and the croutons. And the whole thing was brought together with a uniformity in flavor called the salad dressing. Thousand Island is amazing, but that's what we were meant to be.
Blue cheese. Just saying.
We don't do blue cheese in this house.
Oh, we do blue cheese.
Well, he does blue
I
cheese.
do blue cheese.
I'm like, I'll take blue cheese when you take all the mold out of it. Anyway, but that's what we were meant to be. And that salad dressing, that's the Constitution. That's the thing that brings the whole thing together. This thing was designed, this experiment in freedom was designed to, if California wanted to be a dictatorship type of a state, they can do that as long as they operated within the boundaries of the Constitution.
I thought you were going to say the salad dressing.
Right? That's what they were. That's what it was supposed to be. If you want to experiment in this way, then you do that. As long as you operate within the guidelines of the Constitution, you can do whatever you want to. That's fine. And if you want to do that, and if you see a state operating the type of government you want, then you go there. If you don't like it, you leave from there. That's the way it was supposed to be. It wasn't supposed to be what happens in California goes everywhere, and now nobody has a choice, and it doesn't matter what state you live in because they're all the same.
Right. You all right?
No.
You're twitching.
Yeah. Sometimes I think I have body Tourette's. I don't know. But that's how we were designed. That's what it was meant to be. Yeah, Brandon puts it here. Ranch is bad, or
Ranch is not bad, but blue cheese is best.
I'm not a fan of ranch. I like Italian. Italian is good. French is cool. Catalina is pretty good too.
You ever have Russian?
No.
They used to have that all
Is it a
over.
slow moving or a fast moving, like when you pour it dressing?
It's kind of like French, just a little off from French.
You know, it's Russian. It should be
Russian,
quick.
yeah.
Kind of like Italian. You know,
Well, ask the president. I heard he knows more about it.
he knows more about Russian
Yeah.
collusion.
Yeah. Anyway,
So
but it's good.
Yes.
A lot of the restaurants back in the day used to actually serve it just as fluently as all the other flavors, and slowly it died out of, restaurants using it. And your mind just went totally somewhere else, didn't it?
Well, Brandon put, I got to read this. Okay, now, if y'all's have got children's arounds with sensitive ears, you might just want to, put your finger in
For
your ears.
Brandon?
For Brandon, yes. He
Yeah.
says, blue cheese smells in the manner of sweaty gym socks and or fermented balls. I kind of tend to agree with him.
How many fermented balls have you been smelling?
I've been to high school, man. I mean, just things sometimes that,
Yeah.
we're not going to talk about that.
No.
So
Moving
that
on.
is the United States of America in a nutshell, guys. That's in a nutshell. All right. We're not a democracy. We are a constitutional republic. We are not a single country of the United States of America. We are a country of countries, a nation of countries. That's what we are. And it is not the people that vote for the president. It is the states, those individual countries, that vote for the president.
Right.
All right.
Amen.
Amen. All right, we are going to go ahead and take another quick break. And when we return, we're going to talk about the last portion of this little thing of what I'm doing, and that is a president. It's going to be fun, guys. Just a couple minutes, and I will be right back as soon as I find a song. Ooh, let's do this one. All right, guys, be right back.
You are correct. You are correct. You are correct. You are correct.
Do you love your occasional Mexican dish or your musical fruit? Are you tired of walking by family members and crop dusting them? Well, if this has ever happened to you, might I introduce you to Tampons brand butt plugs. Tampons brand butt plugs is that particular type of butt plug that allows you to walk in public in confidence knowing that you're not going to accidentally crop dust somebody. Tampons brand butt plugs now with the plastic applicator.
Not just for women anymore.
Tampons brand butt plugs. And we're back. So, I think it was last week. Was it the last week or the week before last? Linda, whenever she retweeted the show, she had mentioned, the whole welcome back and, with fake products. And I was kind of hurt because all the products that I promote here on the HoHO show, they're all real products. I don't recommend you use them in the manner that, I promote them. Unless we're talking about this one. There we go.
Do you work at any of the myriad of jobs where you might have to
butt
sell
powder?
your
But that's the only one that's actually promoted here on the show that's actually what it's for is, anti-monkey butt powder.
All right.
It doesn't get much better than that. Everything else, I don't really recommend that. Anyway.
But somebody's tried it that way, probably.
Right.
Somebody out there.
I still like the Tide Pod promo, break through that sphincter wall like the Kool-Aid man. Oh, yeah. That's a good one. I like that one. That one cracks me up. So, all right, guys. The president or a president. See, I'm going to be honest with you guys on something. All right. I've never voted for a president yet. Wow. I graduated in June 6th of 1978, I was eligible to vote in the 1998 midterm elections, and then in the following 2000 presidential elections, I didn't vote. And of course, whenever, you had McCain back in 2008, no, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
2004. No, 2008, and then Romney 2012. I didn't vote for either one of those two, because you see, I'm not a Democrat. I'm a Republican, all right? Democrats vote Democrat just because that's what they do. That's what they've always done, so that's what they're going to do next time. You got a lot of them, that's just how they're programmed. That's what they do, okay?
My grandpa voted that way, so I'm going to vote that way.
Exactly. Most Republicans, a lot of Republicans, and especially whenever you're talking about somebody like me who is a constitutional conservative with libertarian leanings, I'm not going to vote for you just because you got an R next to your name, especially whenever you are a Romney Republican who is basically a rhino, which is a Republican in name only. Because to me, it looks like I'm not voting for somebody whom I want to vote for. I'm voting for the lesser of two evils.
Yeah.
I, in good conscience, I couldn't do that. I couldn't vote for Romney. Because when you're voting for the lesser of two evils, guys, newsflash. Hold on, let me see if I got a thing in here. You're still voting for evil.
I'm Barack Obama, and I approve this message.
There's issues with that. I can't do it. I've never been able to do it, okay? And in 2016, that was the first time I had ever even voted in a primary election, and of which case I voted for Ted Cruz. He was the one whom I wanted to put my vote into because I knew who he was. I knew where he stood on things. I knew that he was a person who would fight for freedom, for rights, that he believed in the sanctity of the Second Amendment and all these other kind of things. I knew where he stood and what he would fight for. I knew who he was.
That's who I voted for in the primary, too.
Mm-hmm. And whenever time came to vote and cast my vote for the presidential election, I couldn't do it. I couldn't cast my vote for Trump because he was a New York Republican, which basically translates to a Romney Republican, a rhino. I didn't know what I was going to get, but I also know that this is the man who's the art of the deal. You got to do pay for play if you're going to do this, that, and the other in these different jurisdictions of Democrat-controlled cities. I knew how the game was played. And I had zero faith that he would actually be somebody that I could stand behind. I just didn't see it, you know? But boy, did he ever prove me wrong. The first president in modern history since Ronald Reagan, every single one of them had campaigned on and this is just one of a myriad of other things that President Trump campaigned on and actually followed through with. President Trump said, I am going to move the Israeli embassy from Tel Aviv into Jerusalem because you know what? That's what you do. You put the embassy in their capital. But, you know, whenever they got elected, none of them did it. Clinton didn't do it. Obama didn't do it. The Bushes didn't do it. None of them did it. Why? Because it's complicated. It's going to create strife in the Middle East. We don't want to do that. It's complicated. It was excuse after excuse after excuse. Nobody did it. What did President Trump do? I made a promise. I'm following through with it. The only one that did it. I'm moving the embassy because it's the right thing to do. It's the right thing to do. That was a horrible Obama. But anyway, so is he, you know. It was the right thing to do, and so that's why he did it. He didn't play the political game. He didn't play any of the games. He said, this is what I campaigned on. This is one of the things that they wanted me to do when I got in the office, so this is what I'm going to do. You know, Brandon put in here, he goes, I voted for him. He wasn't a Republican or a Democrat. He was a pragmatist, something this country needed. Pragmatist. Crap.
Pragmatist.
Thank you.
That's what I'm here for. Got your back. Somebody's got to know English.
That was a hard word for me to say right there. Pragmatist. Screw it.
Pragmatist.
Shut up. But that's what he was. You know, he was somebody whom, you know, just like Brandon, and he said, you know, this is the problem. This is what you brought me here to fix. That's what I'm going to do. And dude, I tell you what, man, I will be honored, tickled pink, because I'll actually be able to, for the first time,
flipping out.
He was throwing a fit for the first time in my adult life that I will actually be able to vote for somebody whom I feel, in my own personal opinion, deserves my vote. Now, I'm not going to tell you who to vote for. You better fucking vote for Trump. But, you know, I can't say that. Okay? I can't tell you who to vote for Trump. I can't tell you just to vote your conscience, vote for Trump. But what I want you to do is look at the man's record, Trump. Look at what he has done. Look at the promises that he has made. All of this while being investigated by the FBI, going through impeachment, being attacked his presidency every step of the way, including 1 year before he even became president. And look at what he was able to accomplish basically alone, without anybody's support. No support in Congress.
Right.
Look at what the man was able to accomplish. Holy crap! I mean, it's sad whenever Obama does an unconstitutional order of DACA, something that he was not legally able to do. It was a violation of the Constitution. He said, I got a pen and a phone. I'm going to do it. And that's what he did.
All right.
Unlawful. Wasn't supposed to happen. What did President Trump do? You brought me in here to get rid of DACA, so that's what I'm going to do. What did the Supreme Court do? We don't care. You're not doing it. You can't get rid of DACA. I know Obama wasn't supposed to. I know that it was an unconstitutional thing, but you know what? He was black, you're not, you're white, we don't care about you. You just, screw you.
Yeah, and that's a whole John Roberts debacle there that you already talked about. So.
Yeah. Yeah, I talked about, you know, Mr. Roberts and his, we don't like his neighborhood. A few shows ago, I don't know, maybe a month ago. Hell, I don't remember.
It's been a while.
Yeah, Matt put in here, he goes, Trump has honored his promises, and you're right. He has honored his promises. He did the cardinal sin of what you don't do in Washington. You don't follow through with your campaign promises. This way you're able to make the same campaign promise next time. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's what Biden has been doing since 1973, but for some reason this year as president, I can make a difference.
Well,
I can fix things.
If he wanted to fix things, then how come he didn't help Obama those 8 years they were both in office? And how come things aren't great since then? Plain and simple. I mean, he was 8 years as vice president with his buddy Obama. How come it's not great and wonderful since that time? Because you didn't do anything.
Exactly. That's why I despise the political talk whenever it comes to, like, with not with DACA, but with, like, amnesty. It ticks me off to no end. These people whine and cry about the immigration system is broken, and you have Biden saying it. You got Nancy Pelosi saying it. You got all these other people saying it. Chuck Schumer saying it. Nadler saying it. Mister, I got my pants pulled up to here because I'd like to hide my dip nips with my belt. That's what you got. And what do these people do? It's like, dude, if you were worried so much about the immigration system, why haven't you fixed it yet? Why is it you just want amnesty? That's what they did back in Ronald Reagan, whenever it was like, hey, well, quid pro quo, if you give us the wall, or I'm sorry, if the Democrats were like, if you give us amnesty, we'll give you a wall. Reagan said, okay, sure. No wall, amnesty. That's why President Trump was like, I'm not falling for the same thing that Reagan did. No, you guys had your amnesty. You need to give us our wall now.
Right.
And if you guys have a problem with the immigration system, then maybe you guys should fix it. Yeah.
Amen.
And the machine put it in here very correctly because they are importing voters.
Yep. Well, now they have their mail-in voting.
That's a huge mistake, and we talked about that last week. I'm not really going to get into that really a whole heck of a lot right now, but we talked about that last week. The whole thing's a fraud. It's a sham. It's going to end badly. But, Matt put in here, he goes, Biden doesn't even know where he is most of the time. No, he doesn't. Biden even called himself a constitutionalist a few days ago. If the man suffers from dementia, yes, he does. And I thought that was hilarious whenever he called himself a constitutionalist. It's like, do you even know what's in the Constitution? Are you aware of what it says? I don't think he does. I don't think he does at all.
I don't either.
Yeah. This election, guys, granted, we know the tricks they're going to be pulling. The Democratic Party, we know the tricks they're going to be pulling. We know this because they've already told us. They've been upfront and honest with it. So, like, this is how we're going to lie. We need to take them at their word. What did President Obama say? I'm going to fundamentally change this country.
Yeah.
You think I'm lying? He wasn't. What did he do? Fundamentally change the country.
It's probably the most important election one of the most important elections we've ever had. It's right here.
And we've been saying that and I had this thought a while back ago too. I'm like, we've been saying that for the past 12 years.
Yeah.
Or more. But you know what? This year wouldn't be so bad and so dire and so much on the line if we actually paid attention, threw politics out the window, quit voting for somebody just because they got a letter next to their name and start voting for an individual instead of party. We wouldn't be in this predicament if we actually paid attention and understood how much power we truly have. Make these people actually listen to us for a change. We wouldn't have this problem.
Yeah.
If we would have woke up and smelled what The Rock was cooking, we would know there's bacon and eggs. Now we just got to eat it. That was funny. Sorry. I'm okay, really, I am.
Eat your blue cheese salad and love it.
But that's what it amounts to, guys. Yeah, there's a lot on the line. We know that the Democrats are going to cheat. We know how they're going to cheat. What we need to focus on is the rules. They only have so long to get these mail-in ballots actually in. And truth be told, if you can't validate the ballot, then it's not supposed to count anyway.
Right.
That's the difference between mail-in voting and early voting. Mail-in voting, they just send you a ballot. I've actually heard a report that a dog got a ballot. Really? Yeah.
You brought up an interesting...
How did he vote? Sorry.
You brought up an interesting point. I don't know if it was the 2008 or 2012 election when all those military ballots did not count because they didn't get them in time.
Yeah.
They wiped them off the records. They didn't count them at all because of that reason.
That was either 2012 or 2016, but I want to think it was 2016.
2016?
I think. I'm not 100% sure, but you're absolutely right. You know, they did. They wiped every single one of them off. All of our overseas military men and women, none of their votes counted. And what's the Democrat Party going to say whenever these...
Exactly.
You know, exactly, yeah. What's the Democrat Party going to say whenever all these ballots were, like, probably 98% of them are all going to be for Biden? But we don't cheat. We don't cheat. This is an honest thing. We don't cheat at all. There's no voter fraud going on here. Nothing to see here. That's what they say. But whenever 98% of them come in, there were districts in 2012 or 2016 that this jurisdiction 100% voted for Biden. You mean to tell me that there wasn't one person that voted for Trump? Mm-hmm. Voted for Biden, you know, voted for Hillary Clinton.
Right.
Or voted for, you know, Obama versus Romney. It's like, you mean to tell me there wasn't one conservative, one Republican in this voting district? You mean to tell me that? I call Bravo Sierra. Why do I call Bravo Sierra? Because that's not how the Democrats draw the line.
So when all these Democrat ballots come in after the deadline, are they going to ignore them just like they did the military ones?
No, because they're going to say these people need to be heard. Hillary Clinton has already said, don't succeed. Secede.
Concede.
Concede. Don't do that word that means bow out of the race. Don't do that. You know, stay in. We will fight this in litigation till the cows come home.
Yeah. And that's where it's going to end up.
As long as we force them to adhere to the rules, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
if our ballots didn't count way back when, they need to play by the same rules. Then these ballots over here aren't going to count either.
Right.
You can't have it both ways.
But you know that's the game they're going to play.
Mm-hmm.
They've already told us that's the game they're going to play. You know, I mean, let's just say, for the sake of argument, that this was in 2016. I think it was. You know, how would that have changed with when you know probably most of these people were putting their marks down on the Republican side of the ballot, which that is why they didn't count these votes. That is why they didn't fight for these votes to be counted.
Right.
Anyway.
Two sets of rules.
Mm-hmm. Matt put in here, goes, the Democratic Party has a small army now, Antifa and BLM, and yes, I went there, that are intimidating voters at polling places. Much is at stake this year. You are absolutely right. There is a lot at stake this year. And we talked about this last week. You know, if BLM, Antifa, and whatnot are going to use intimidation at the polls, you know, is that going to be an issue? It's definitely possible. It's definitely possible it's an issue, but what I want to see and what I think is actually going to happen because of the sacredness that patriots believe in the voting process, you're going to see patriots with patriots on one side and the BLM and Antifa on the other. I honestly think that's what you're going to see. If you see Antifa on one side, there's going to be a patriot at the other end.
What's that call-in number when we have time?
That call-in number is 217-965-6133 if you guys want to call in and be part of the show. The machine put in here, he goes, why is it that I am unafraid? They don't move the needle for me. You know, but that's the thing, though, man. I mean, this election is truly about communism and freedom.
Mm-hmm.
It's a fight between the 10 pillars of communism and the Bill of Rights. This year, that's what's at stake. They're going to cheat because they hate America. You should be afraid. You should know what's at stake. You should be. You know they're going to fight. You know that they're going to cheat. You know that's what they're going to do. You need to be willing to fight it how you can. Not saying violence, unless it's necessary, kind of like Patrick Swayze, you know, be nice until it is time to not be nice.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not afraid, I'm mindful. Kind of like what he was saying. I'm not afraid, I'm mindful. I'm concerned. And just like what he said, my resolve is much stronger than theirs. Absolutely. What? Never mind. I'm not going there. I'm not going there.
But you want to.
I do.
Really?
When the fecal matter hits the rotary isolator, I think they're going to need their safe space, their cuddle puppy, their security blanket. Yeah. Agatha's my security blanket. I don't know what their security blanket looks like. I know what mine looks like.
And we've talked about this off air too, is, you know, even with the fraud and cheating, Trump ends up winning anyway. What's their response going to be this time?
Oh, yeah. You know, and that's the thing, too. Okay, this was great. There was a headline that came out not that long ago. And it was from Axios, which is a news organization that was bought and paid for by Bloomberg. And the article basically says, straight up, we know that when the dust settles on Election Day, it's going to be President Trump who comes out the victor. However, for some reason, he says that all these Democrat voters, like 3 out of 4 of them, are going to be voting by mail because they're too afraid to go to the ballots. Too afraid my ass. You have people, you know, Black Lives Matter. They're going to this protest. They're going to that protest. They're breaking into this, that, and the other. And you're going to tell me that they're too afraid to go to the ballot? No, they intend on cheating. That's all there is to it. They're too afraid. No. But they've already said that, yeah, Trump's going to come out victorious on Election Day. But it's going to be the mail-in ballots that we need to pay attention to, because those are going to be the turning point. And they've already said, like what I talked about last week, that, oh yeah, there's 300 million more people that's going to be voting for Biden than voting for Trump. Okay, sure. But who cares if they're all out of California and New York? It doesn't matter. That's only so many electoral votes. Doesn't matter.
No. The ones that got to be concerned about are the swing states.
Just a swinging. Swinging.
You went there.
But that's what they intend on doing, no? I mean, they're going to be, you know, how many votes are we down in this jurisdiction? All right, bring the ballots. You know, that's what they're going to be doing. We already know what they're going to be doing. Trump's win, there will be extreme riding. Oh, yeah. A case of Kyle will have to be opened up at that point. A case of Kyle. I like that. I like that, sir. You know, but I tell you what, though. At this particular point in time, you have President Trump kind of being relaxed about this whole thing. All right. He's not done what he is constitutionally and according to the Insurgents Act of hasn't done what he could, and that is lay the smacketh down, go in there and straighten all this crap out, because they refuse to do it themselves.
Right.
He could do that, but he's choosing not to. Why? Because it's not his place. And it's not. The President of the United States of America, his focus is on the exterior. It's up to the governor of each individual states to focus on the interior. It's not the president's job to go into Portland, Oregon and straighten it out because he's too lazy to do it himself. It's not his job. But I'm going to make a prediction right here and right meow. And I'm going to make that at the other side of the break. Be right back. Welcome back to the HoHO Show. So I want to make a prediction, guys. When President Trump gets reelected, I'm just going to speak that one into existence. When he gets reelected, I think he is going to bring the hammer down. I think he's going to make that choice because that would mean that the people who voted, that's one of the things that they're wanting him to do is straighten up the Bravo Sierra that's going on in all these cities.
Right.
Straighten it up, put them in their place, knock it off, and do it now. I really think he's going to go in there, figurative and literal, guns a-blazing, and putting these people back in their place. You're done. The infighting is over. Grow up. I very much see that happening. That is my prediction. If he wins 2020, he's going to take that as a green light. This is why they voted me back into office. To fix the problem. I mean, what do you think about that?
I think you're right. I think, they're going to start their Bravo Sierra right after the election. He's going to be, not this time. He's just going to be like, okay,
we've let this go on long enough. We're done. Grow up, put your big boy pants on. I truly think that's if you guys think different, let me know. Feel free to call in. That number again is 217-965-6133.
International callers, dial 1 first.
And now we're going to talk about basically the one news story that I got because guys, I tell you what.
Salongate.
Yes, actually. You see, this show, I kid you not, guys. Okay, look at this. All right, let me bring up.
She's hot.
Last week, she is hot. Let's bring up last week. I'm going to show you guys this. All right. So here we go. Last week's show. All right. You see on that number right there, 39 different articles I put in here. 39 of them just for last week's show.
Wow.
Okay. And that's pretty standard. I put in quite a few. Okay. The show before that, let's look at that one. 8-8. That one had 81 stories, guys. 81 stories on 8-8 show. Why 2 + 2 = pineapple. 88 articles I threw in there as reference points for the show. Ridiculous? I think so. That's a lot. Okay. This one, allow me to show you how many articles I have on this show. 9-5, a whole whopping 4. The fewest amount of articles that I've used as reference points since I started doing this show. I thought that was hilarious. Wow. I really did. That to me, that's funny. And the main article that I want to talk about, guys, is that one right there from the cover story. Okay, talking about Salon Gate, Pelosi Gate, Pelosi Salon Gate. Now, this is hilarious, okay? This is coming from, Nancy Pelosi, a woman who you got to shut everything down. You got to wear a mask. You can't do anything. All these rules apply. You can't do this. You can't do that. You can't do the rubber. You can't do any of this stuff. You can only do this outside. You can't do inside stuff. And what does she do? Calls up the hair salon. The salon doesn't call her. She calls up the salon. Hey, I want my hair did. I want to get my hair washed and I want to get it dried. I'm too lazy to do it my own self. Okay, fine, come in. She comes in, not even wearing a mask. Everybody else has to wear a mask. She's like, I'm so star-spangled amazing, I ain't got to wear a mask. You know, and she blames, this is the icing on the cake, guys. This is the icing on the cake. What does she do? I was wrong. I apologize for doing that. I know that people out there are hurting, and I know that it's time we open America back up, and you know, this is what we need to do. Is that what she said? Nope. No. What did she say? They set me up. They need to apologize to me. To me. I'm hooking up a Honix. That's what she said.
Amazing.
She didn't apologize for her actions. She didn't apologize for violating the very rules that she helped put in place. Oh no, she didn't do any of that. She didn't go in there with the mask and apologize to the salon owner and say, hey, I'm sorry, I've basically ruined your business and you're never going to be able to come out of this because you'll be dead before your business goes back into the point to where it would have been before I screwed up the entire economy. That's not what happened. She said, she set me up and she said, apologize to me. The hypocrisy on this, guys.
Yeah.
Infuriates me if you couldn't tell.
And as you alluded to earlier, the people, everybody on the left that sees what's going on is going to side with her.
They have.
Yeah. Liberalism is a mental freaking disease. I'm guaranteed of it.
She has had death threats because she called Nancy out on her Bravo Sierra.
But I guarantee if it was the other way around, oh, you'd never hear the end of it. If it was a Republican that did that, oh, they'd have it on every news station.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I love what Matt put in here in Facebook. He says, if a salon tricked Pelosi, should we really be trusting her with top secret information? I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah.
You know, and guys, here's the thing, though. Okay, it's not like she, you know, called up Pelosi and said, hey, I see that it's time for you to have your weekly hair did. Why don't you come in? And then she goes into the back and then she turns on her cameras right before Pelosi shows up and stopped her at the door and said, hey, don't worry about it. I'm using this, that, and the other type of filtration system in here. Don't worry about wearing a mask. Come on in. It's not like none of that happened.
Right.
None of that happened. No, Pelosi made the appointment. She came on in. The salon owner was nice enough to allow her in there, even though that there are rules that the salon owner broke in order to accommodate Pelosi because she's so amazing. We have to accommodate her. That even though all that stuff happened, she went in there, wasn't wearing a mask, didn't take this whole COVID seriously. Neither do I. Here, her business is struggling to make ends meet. I don't even think she had any other people that was working in there. She had to basically fire everybody that was either was employed by her or was renting a booth in her shop. She had to get rid of them all because she couldn't pay them. She couldn't, she couldn't do it. It's like, I got to shut this thing down.
Right.
I can't make the money myself. I can't allow you guys to do that here either. Destroying businesses. Does Nancy care about that? No, because it's all about Orange Man bad. That is their entire focus.
Yeah, and I've said this before, and so have you. It's the whole thing that ticks me off, not just about COVID, not just about rules and executive orders and crap like that, is the dang hypocrisy. You know, if some of these people believe truly what they believe, and that's because of what they believe, yeah, I'd still disagree, and yeah, they're still nut jobs, but I can at least understand, okay, that's what they believe. But when you go out and say this over here, and then you go and do the total opposite, and then condemn other people for what you're doing in the first place, that just, it's nuts. It's the hypocrisy is what pisses people off the most.
You know, and I'll take it a step further because for me, it's not just the hypocrisy. It's the lies.
Yeah.
Okay? It's the lies. It's the hypocrisy. That's what takes me off. And just so you guys know, the masks are Bravo Sierra. The whole thing. The whole thing is Jack, okay? I am an OTR truck driver, over-the-road truck driver. That's what I am, okay? That's what I do. I go everywhere. I can show you my map on Google because I have it to where Google tracks me anyway. I'm like, go ahead. I want to see where I've been. The little dots that it puts up for me is just everywhere. It's like, ooh, a thing speckled. It looks like a sparkled donut, you know, covered in sparkles. Icing of white and covered in sprinkles. That's what it looks like. I've wore a mask since this entire pandemic started. I've wore a mask twice. I'm not dying. I'm perfectly fine.
Well, at least from the COVID anyway.
Right, yeah. Here is why the masks are junk. And you're going to tell me that mask is going to do anything to help me, to protect me from the COVIDs? It's not. And just so you know, for those of you that are listening in Spreaker and out there in podcast land, what I played was a video of a guy wearing a mask. He inhales a lungful of vape through the mask and then exhales, and it just comes out everywhere.
And those particles are bigger than what they claim the COVID particles are, correct?
Absolutely. And it even gives the stats in this video. The 0.6 to 0.8 microns is the size of the particles of an e-cig. The COVID is 0.06 to 0.14 microns in size. So in other words, vape is 10 times bigger than the particles of COVID, and that mask, which is totally 100% acceptable, that's what you're supposed to use, and that's even one of the thicker, one of the better masks, better than 10 times bigger than the COVID, and it can't do jack for vape. And you're going to tell me that that's going to stop the COVIDs?
Right.
It's not. I take a temperature of an area before I go in there. I look at people going in. Are they wearing their mask or are they not wearing their mask? You know, am I going to wear a mask? No. I go in. How many people do I actually see wearing them right versus how many people I see wearing their mask wrong? 90% of the people I see, like under their nose or under their mouth, on their chin, that's not going to help. I want to go into these places wearing my Pennywise mask or wearing a Long Ranger mask over my eyeballs. I'm supposed to wear a mask. It doesn't say where it's got to be. You just said I got to come in here wearing a mask. I might as well wear what I want to do.
Right. Yeah.
Matt put in here, they look at us as peasants and they expect us to do as they say. And that's exactly what it amounts to. They look at us as peasants. And have the attitude of do as I say, not as I do, all that kind of good stuff, much like Pelosi with the Salon Gate. Yeah. And here's the thing, that if it was such a big deal, okay, Matt's putting in, I'm reading from him. If it is such a big deal, as they say it is, we all should be wearing biohazard suits with a filtration system. Absolutely, and we should be. Because that's the only thing that is going to stop it. Those that are in these, these level 4 bio places that are, that have these viruses in there, that's what they're wearing. Full-on suits in order to keep them safe. That's what they're wearing. And yet, a mask, that's fine.
Right.
But guys, if the masks worked, why can't we go to school? Why can't we go to the ballots? Or why can't we go to the booths and vote in person? If the masks work, why can't the kids go back to school? And if the masks don't work, and if this virus is that stinking bad, why am I not dead?
Exactly.
I've been everywhere. I've been exposed. Why am I not dead?
Mm-hmm.
That's all I got, guys.
But they want their vaccine, though.
Yeah, even though the hydroxychloroquine is perfectly fine. Even though back in 2008 with another form of the coronavirus, swine flu, even though that they were like, in Fuki himself or Fukai, whatever the hell he calls himself, whenever that guy flat said the hydroxychloroquine is absolutely amazing for a COVID, it's like a cure, this is amazing. And now because it's only like 25 cents a pill, they're like, we can't do that. We have to make a we have to make a vaccine that costs $1 billion. If I had $1 billion, that's what they want because they want to charge you out the ass, even though you can just pay a quarter and get something that works too.
Not to mention the testing and everything else that they're making billions off of too, because if hydroxychloroquine was rapidly available, there'd be no need for testing, and all that money is out the window for them too.
They don't want a cure. There's no money for it. There's no money in a cure.
No.
There's no money in a cure. They don't want a cure. They want a vaccine. Why do they want a vaccine? Because they can charge out the ass for us, even though Fauci himself said during the 2008 pandemic that was never even classified as a pandemic, and, since that the CDC has readjusted their numbers because they're like, you know what, guys, if you're going to play the political game, and if you're going to tell the states that they need to report their findings to the government instead of the CDC, and you're going to tell me that they're not playing politics, yeah, I believe it. I got a bridge in Brooklyn, I'll tell you, it's amazing. If you believe that load of Bravo Sierra, sure. He said back in 2008 that this is great. This is a cure. Hydroxychloroquine is great. That's what we'll say. But what was the difference between 2008 and today? Oh, yeah, that's right. You see, it was Obama's presidency versus Trump's presidency.
Right.
And now that they've readjusted the numbers, that the CDC is no longer going to play the political game, they adjusted the numbers to where now it reflects accurately that the numbers are lower. Our numbers, not globally, our numbers are lower than what the death rate was for swine flu.
Yeah, I think they revised and said 9% or less is the actual death rate of whatever they really reported.
Yeah, of what 9%. They earlier reported. It's still under it's still under 1% the actual death toll of people who died of the coronavirus that wasn't any type of a comorbid type of a situation. That only died of the COVIDs. Taking away all the comorbid type of things in there, taking all that crap away. People who died in a car accident that just happened to have the COVIDs, they removed those numbers, and it's like 0.8, 0.08, or 0.8. It's ridiculously low, and the numbers are less than those that have died from swine flu.
Yeah. Well, we didn't lock everything down during swine flu, did we?
No, we didn't. It wasn't a pandemic. It was nothing. The economy sucked, but that's because it was Obama's economy.
Right. Crazy.
That's all I got, guys. I think I'm done being angry. Yeah. So.
You feel better?
No.
No.
Guys, we're 2 months away. We're 2 months away from a very important presidential election. Make sure you're registered to vote. President Trump said something last week or whatever, he's like, vote twice. Test the system, vote twice. Do the mail-in ballot and then go and vote in person. And they're calling him very bad names. Those on the left. They're they're calling him bad names, for telling his constituents to vote twice. And I'm like, wait a second. This is coming from the party that says vote early, vote often.
Mm-hmm.
Really? And you're going to get mad at Trump for saying, hey, you know what? Test the system. They're going to say that this thing is so star-spangled amazing that, it's okay, that there's not going to be any fraud. Vote twice to test the system. Why not?
2 sets of rules.
Yeah. Granted, yeah, it might be illegal to tell people to vote like that. Whatever. I would say, you know what, screw up. Vote more times than that. Why not? If they're going to do it, why? I can't say that either. Fight fire with fire. I don't want to say stoop to their level, play the adult card, but you know what? It's really hard though.
Yeah. But those would be the ones that get called out and arrested for voting twice and everything else.
Oh yeah, exactly. Because they're going to be, whatever. Yeah. Anyway, guys.
Because we know Democrats don't do that, so there wouldn't be nothing like that happening. So, but the nasty Republicans, man.
So in 2 weeks, guys, we're changing gears. In 2 weeks, 2 months. In 2 months, guys, I'm changing gears. In 2 months, like how I did that, just like that last one never happened. Yeah. So in 2 months, guys, we got the Halloween special of XM Show. Whenever I get more information, I will be passing that on to you. But it is Saturday, October 31st. It is going to be a good time. The past couple of years has been awesome. He is going to be replaying for the second time in history the Scary Mary show. And so if you guys missed out on that last year, you guys can check that out this year. It's going to be a great time. He's got something new in mind. And you can definitely head on over to, and thank you, sir, Matt. He says, good show, guys. I appreciate that. But you guys can head on over to alexexum.com. And I'm sure he's got some information out there on that. And, of course, you can go to livetalk.live and get some information there as well. And, of course, if you guys want to catch the show live, you can go to those two websites that I just gave you. You can also go to Spreaker.com. That is Spreaker.com. And look up Alex Exum and Live Talk, and you will be able to catch the show there and participate in the chat. It is amazing.
It is very amazing. We won some amazing things over the past few shows. Yes. And thank you, Alex, for the new coffee mug and shirt and whatever HoHo got and whatever Linda got. And yeah, it's a good time.
I seen Christine Conti over there that she got her mug, and her cat is a fan of her mug. It's a very, very nice mug. It looks pretty, and he's actually got some merch that he's selling for the new one. I guess the name of it is Dead Again. Now I gotta look it up. I'm looking it up, guys. I'm looking it up.
While you're looking that up, Halloween is my birthday, just saying.
Yep.
Yeah,
Dead Again.
That explains his face right here.
Here is this is just a little thing that he did for the the new shirts, but he is going to be having shirts available as well. So check that out, guys. That is all I got. Anything else to add, Rick?
Just one little topic that we talked about earlier is how the social media platforms are really nuking a lot of Patriot sites, which a lot of you already know about. So be aware of that. I had my Discord account totally nuked because it was affiliated with AR2, Patriot Network, and so have a lot of other friends. So they're really, between now and Election Day, I think they're really going after conservatives and their social media and everything like that. So I know a lot of you already know that. So if you get a chance, I want to make a plug for mymilitia.com. Please go there and just take a look and support them, because a lot of these sites are going poof and going away. So, because that's the way they want it before election. They don't want people getting together and talking and organizing and anything else. So go to mymilitia.com and just check it out for me, because we need to stick together between now and November.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, guys. That is all I got. Y'all have yourself a wonderful evening. Good night. Sleep tight. And if the bed bugs bite, well, by golly, bite them back. This has been The HoHo Show. For more information, you can head to thehohoshow.com. And for the merchandise store, you can head on over to stinkpickle.com. That is stinkpickle.com. Until next time.